Assalamu alaikum. Today's topic is fishing industry in Pakistan. The fishing sector in Pakistan makes a significant contribution to the national economy, contributing about 1% to GDP and providing job to about 1% of country's labor force. It is the most important economic activity in the coastal areas of Pakistan. Pakistan has many marine and inland fishing resources. The commercially important resources include nearly 250 demersal fish species, 50 small pelagic fish species, and 50 medium-sized pelagic species, and 20 large fish species are found here. As we all know that there are two types of fishing done in Pakistan. One of the major fishing method is marine fishing, which is done in the salty waters of the Arabian Sea. Pakistan's coastline is divided into Sindh and Makran coast. The Sindh coast is 30% of coastline and Makran coast is 70%. Mangrove trees, which are breeding grounds for fish and shrimps, grow in the mouth of the distributaries of the Indus and Hub Delta. In Makran coast, the fishing centers are small, no more than the villages like Sumniani and Jivani. Gwadar is the most important fishing port on this coast. It is being developed as a fishing center by providing improved facilities as an ice factory, refrigeration plants, and modern fish curing yards are present here. Urmara and Pasni are also one of the important fishing centers of Pakistan. There are two types of marine fishing done in Pakistan: subsistence and commercial. Subsistence fishing is done by the poor fishermen for their family use. They catch the fish for the day-to-day daily use for their family. Some fishing communities on the coast are engaged in subsistence fishing as fish is the main component of the diet. Subsistence fishermen use conventional techniques like traditional nets, small wooden boats which do not travel far more in the sea area. As a result, the fish catch is also nominal and cannot be relied on a permanent source of income. There is no navigation and refrigeration facilities in these methods. Commercial fishing. Commercial fishing is done on large scale and the fish which is caught is sold in the market. This fishing is done for profit. A number of fishing communities depend on fishing as the sole source of their income. There are two main centers of commercial fishing, Karachi and Gwadar. The Sindh coast is the most important sector of the fishing community. Nearly 68% of the total marine catch is done here. There are a number of factors that account for the development of fishing along the Sindh coast. And those are, as I want to count some of the most important ones, some of the most important factors. Number one, it has numerous creeks, sheltered harbors, and wide shallow sea beyond. It has advantage of a wider continental shelf than the Makran coast. The Indus Delta is rich in fish food, much of which is brought down to the delta by the river Indus. It has better export and processing facilities. These were the reasons which make the Sindh coast ideal for fishing profession. In commercial fishing, the traditional sailboats, fish nets, new techniques in fishing are also used. The gill netters and mechanized boats have made it possible for the fishermen to travel more than 50 to 60 kilometers along the coast deep into the seawater. Traditional sailboats can only go up to 5 kilometers offshore. However, the traditional sailboats are still widely used by poor fishing communities. In Karachi, the government has developed the Korangi Fish Harbour where storage and packing facilities are available for the fishermen. The Makran coast is slowly being developed with improved facilities like docking of the sailboats, handling of the catch, preservation and storage. Almost all the fishing communities on the coast of Balochistan are engaged in fishing for their livelihood. Inland fishing. This fishing is mostly done in the fresh water like the river water, in dams, barrages, lakes, etc. Let me explain you a typical fish farm. How a fish farm is made artificially and lots of fish are bred here. A typical fish farm is rectangular in shape, which is man-made pond for the breeding of the fish. They have a concrete or cemented base to prevent water loss. The side of the farm is edged with solidified mud, and trees are grown all around to provide oxygen to the fish to minimize water loss through evaporation and to keep the water body cool in hot summers. This facilitates the growth and fertilization of fish. A fish farmer has to take care of the food, medicine and breeding requirement of the fish. Fish farming is the most productive profession in today's fishing profession. The use of the animal waste to fertilize the fish pond leads to greater fish yield, as the manure provides active nutrients for the fish. Poultry droppings serve as an excellent fertilizers for the fish pond. Some of the varieties of marine fish and the inland fish are here. Most of the types of the fish found in the deep waters of Arabian Sea are sharks, croakers, catfish, skates and rayfish. Whereas the freshwater fish which are being bred in the ponds or the inland fishes are manasir, rahu, palla, trout, thalla, grass, carp, etc. Some of the main fishing centers which give an ideal place for fishing are Manchar Lake in Dadu district, Kinjhar Lake in the north of Thatta, Haleji Lake in the west of Thatta, reservoirs of Mangla and Tarbela Dam, River Indus at Sakhar, Kotri and Thatta. Fish farming and environment. Fish farming affects the physical environment in different ways. It affects the ecosystem and it is a very important matter which should be taken into concern. The term ecosystem means a community of plant and animals within a physical environment or habitat. The components of ecosystem are soil, vegetation, climate and animals. Land-based farms have brought about ecological changes and have affected surrounding areas. The subsoil water is frequently pumped out of the farms which may lower the water table of the area. As a result, all the water is evaporated and the salt reaches in the surrounding tracts, making the land not suitable for further cultivation. The cause of concern is the coastal wetlands are considered productive areas because they provide nutrients to the organisms living in marshy land. These lands act as a nursery for many commercially important fish varieties and other organisms. Conversion of such areas into fish farm has disturbed the general marine ecosystem. Chemical pollution. Effluent from the fish farm contain chemicals used for disinfecting and controlling diseases, pests and predators. It may contain hormones used for inducing breeding and transfer of the fish. All these may have adverse effect on the environment. Problems of the fishing industry. There are various problems which are faced by the fishing industries in Pakistan. Some of them are water pollution, overfishing, and threat to the mangroves. Pollution on the coast of Pakistan is only limited to Karachi. Karachi Fish Harbour is badly affected by the variety of pollutants and the spillage of the oil from various containers. Domestic and industrial waste is also causing great harm to our fish industry. Water pollution is not only limited to Karachi coast, but it is also affecting the rivers of Pakistan. With increasing population, industrialization and urbanization, increasing amount of waste materials are dumped into river. Extensive use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides and other things which are used in agriculture is also the cause of water pollution. So we need to protect fish resources. A system of waste disposal needs to be developed so that pollutants do not enter the river and the sea. Another problem is overfishing. Overfishing is also one of the grave problems occurring in our area, and fishing is also done in the breeding season, which should not be. This problem is the main problem or the main cause due to the foreign trawlers. This limits the production of shrimps, which is a warning for the Pakistani fishermen. Lastly is threat to the mangroves. Mangroves act as a barrier and protector from the high and low tides, and the different types of storms. The mangroves are the breeding ground for fish and shrimps. They cannot thrive well in polluted seawater. I hope you have understood the basic knowledge and the background of the fishing given to you in this session. Thank you.